So good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being there. I'm Olivier Devaux from Medine Property, and I'm responsible of the Smart City Unicity located on the west coast of Mauritius. I would like to start with a number that I find quite interesting. In 2018, at the start of 2018, there were more than 4,000 Africans. Yeah, we're good to go. There were more than 4,000 Africans living in Mauritius, some of them working, most of them enjoying the Mauritian lifestyle. This number has been in constant progression for the last 10 years. Why have they made this choice? Sachin from EDB has given us a great overview presentation and has already given us a few hints about what could have triggered the move for these South Africans. The aim of our small presentation is to showcase why the Smart City scheme and the smart cities of Mauritius are going to be the main triggers for your future move to Mauritius, be it to live, to work, and most probably enjoy like all Mauritians do. I would like to start with a brief definition of a smart city. There are many definitions, but we think that this one is the most appropriate one. A smart city is a concept of urban development focused on improving the quality of life of city dwellers by making the city more attractive, adaptable, efficient, and resilient to change, using new technologies that rely on an ecosystem of objects and services. What one has to know is that in the past, property development and town expansions have been done without any proper master planning, thinking, and long-term visions. Smart cities will make sure that what had been lacking in the past is at the heart of our strategies while developing business, retail and commercial, leisure, education, and residential. From our inclusive offer is derived our motto, live, work, and play. But why would anyone want to live in a smart city in Mauritius? We are planning these cities keeping in mind that things need to be flexible as the property market changes so rapidly. However, we will make sure that inhabitants of smart cities get proper common areas, parks, great streetscape, dedicated cycle paths and footpaths. At completion, Unicity will have 26 kilometers of cycling and footpaths. We will also make sure that the development of the town is made in a coherent way in terms of architectural guidelines and urban planning. For example, major avenues at the heart of the smart city would require more density. Our guideline will allow development of ground plus 3 and above in these areas, and we will make sure that the same principle apply to the rest of the smart city. Placemaking. Placemaking is the art and science of making authentic, vibrant, and resilient places that are valued by their communities and admired by visitors. Our objective is to create quality places to live in by making sure everything is in the right place. Neighborhood centers and spaces for animation placed at different strategic locations within our towns. How about a dedicated space for markets on Saturdays where you could buy special boerewors or fresh fish taken by the local fishermen the same morning? Talking about fish, I'll give you an advice for your next trip to Mauritius. The Mauritian waters are home to the sacré chien. This is one of the best fish I've tasted, and I'll give you an advice if you come to Mauritius within the next few years. Please try that. It's so good, 30 minutes in the Weber. You eat it with a bit of sauce hollandaise and some rice. It's divine. So good, I could even forget that Liverpool hasn't won the league for the last 28 years. But I won't forget since I'm a Manchester United fan. It may appear logical, but it is not always the case for some development in Mauritius. Proper road accesses for all means of transport is available and will grow with the cities, and same can be said of water, electricity, and telecommunications. Strategies have been put in place where green energy will play a role. Energy production via solar panels, while some of us or already producing power via bagasse, a residue of sugarcane. Access to utilities is one thing, but we need to make sure that the management of these resources is tackled properly. We will manage these resources efficiently with the help of technologies, smart grids, smart meters, data analytics with regards to consumptions, and make sure that our towns are prepared for a resilient future. With today's connected world, anyone can comment on anything happening around the globe in a matter of seconds. We will make sure that inhabitants of the smart cities play a big part in the development of their town. Already happening at Mocha Smart City, Citizen Engagement Initiative, allowing inhabitants to participate in cultural, sports, ecological initiatives. We'll have a residential offer that will satisfy different clients with different needs and means. Plots of land for third-party developers, studios, apartments, penthouses, townhouses, villas, retirement homes, and student housing. Of course, digital innovation is an inherent part of the smart cities. Being greenfield projects, one must make sure that we don't get carried away by technology and smart items. We must ensure that we have proper roads, green park, and common areas before these places get Wi-Fi. However, each of the smart city developer has fixed objectives with regards to technology and the pace at which it will be developed. We have short, medium, and long-term objectives to make sure that we don't miss out on being connected and smart cities. Of course, you wouldn't want to live in an area with no health services or education easily accessible. Hospitals and schools have been planned. Mocha has already the biggest private hospital of Mauritius within the outskirts of its smart city. Schools, from pre-primary to secondary, and universities are opened and waiting for your kids. The African Leadership College is already opened at Novatera, with more than 340 students. Unicity hosts more than 1,700 students, amongst which 500 are foreigners. Our aim is to make sure that the children living and studying within our cities are the leaders of tomorrow. Our cities will definitely have places for them once they are on the work market. I will now hand over to Samuel.
Thank you, Olivier. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Samuel, working for the ENL Group, which I thought before Browning's presentation was the fourth largest group in Mauritius, but apparently it happens to be the fifth one. So after Olivier presenting the lifestyle Mauritius has to offer, I'm going to get an overview of the business environment and the opportunities arising in the smart cities. So I think it's important to understand how Mauritius is now the third African country in terms of GDP per capita. In the beginning, Mauritius was only a desert island with no capital resources, and its settlement only started in the middle of the 18th century. The economic growth of Mauritius is mainly due to its connection to the world. The country was built up through immigration from Europe, Africa, and Asia. So basically, Mauritius is still at the crossroads of all those continents, with good flight connections, commercial agreements, fiscal agreements with numerous countries, and an internal flourishing market of 4% GDP growth. The reasons for investing in Mauritius: a new scheme designed for international businesses, and foreign investors. The Smart City Scheme. So in the Smart City Scheme, there's no requirement for local partnership, no minimum capital requirement for the incorporation of a company. highly skilled bilingual local workforce, and a flourishing internal market. Why choose a smart city to do your business? Obviously, as explained before, well master plan and sustainable neighborhood. All the projects you've seen and the pictures you've seen have been planned with international consultants. And all the infrastructure being built in the smart cities are financed, designed, and maintained by the private sector. Everywhere in smart cities, fiber connectivity, architectural guidelines, technical guidelines, easy and convenient access, and a secure legal framework. A good example of it would be the Atterbury Group, which decided to invest in Mauritius a few years ago. They partnered with the ENL Group and decided to bring their knowledge in retail development in Mauritius. The result today is the Bagatelle Mall, which is by far the most successful mall on the island. And there are now continuous operating structures based in Mauritius. Another important thing by investing in a smart city from a foreign point of view is for international brands to get linked with a sustainable dynamism which are embracing the world at the moment. In smart cities, there's a lot of initiatives in those eco-conscious neighborhoods in terms of public transport, smart grids for electricity, water treatment, water reuse, citizen engagement programs. So by engaging your international brand in an eco-conscious neighborhood, you'll benefit from that global trend into sustainabilism. The majority of the projects you've been having a look on the screens are now in the process of being certified through independent international organizations. I will take the lead neighborhood organization for MoCA as example. Lead Neighborhood is an American organization which certified big, large development zones to the best international practices. So by investing in those precincts, gets you reassured that the best norms are actually measured and applied. So I mentioned the eco-conscious neighborhoods, energy efficient buildings, comfort and modernity. Another important advantage in investing in a smart city is the legal structure. When investing in a smart city, you get a 10 years period guarantee on the buildings, and also there's a compulsory guarantee, a completion guarantee from a commercial bank. The specificity of Mauritius, to conclude, is that those working environments and living environments are quite unique, but you do not need to compromise on the enjoyment part of it. So that's the specificity of Mauritius, and I'll now hand over to my friend Joël.
Thank you very much, Samuel. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joël Couve, and I'm responsible for marketing at Novaterra. Our smart city is located in the north of the island in a place called Beauplan. Now, Olivier has talked about live, Samuel has talked about work, but I've got the fun part, because I'm going to be talking to you about play. Play and its importance to the success of our projects. Now, what is play? According to the Oxford English Dictionary, play can be described as engaging in an activity for enjoyment and recreation rather than a serious or practical purpose. If I ask 5 people in this room what play means to them, I'm sure I'll get 5 different answers. Because the reality is that play means a different thing for every one of us. For some, sports will immediately come to mind. I thought this picture would bring back some happy memories for some of you. It certainly does for me, as I was a student in Cape Town at the time, and I've still got great memories of a party that followed that famous dropkick. If you ask me what play means to me, I immediately think about my kids or playing squash. For some, they'll think about music, socializing, engaging in an artistic activity. Some lucky few will even associate work with play. But why is play so important to the success of our smart cities? Simply because the ultimate goal of our projects, aside from making a healthy profit, of course, is to create an environment where people can have the best possible quality of life. And play is a key element in that. I'd go as far as saying that play is the glue that holds the live and the work together to create a vibrant lifestyle. Let's take some great examples of vibrant cities around the world. New York, Paris, Hong Kong, Singapore. I've been lucky enough to visit all of these cities, as I'm sure some of you have. And there's a lot of play going on in these places. Today, Mauritius already provides a good choice of play. Our lagoons and beaches are fantastic playgrounds, famous worldwide, and close to 1.4 million tourists visit Mauritius every year. We now have 9 international golf courses scattered around the island, with a few more in the pipeline. The Champ de Mars is the second oldest race course of the Southern Hemisphere. But there is scope for so much more. And I'll come back to it in a minute. But let me tell you something else that's great about play. If you look at this image, what do you see? We see people connecting. Play is a fantastic way of connecting people who share an interest or a passion. And this connection will go beyond the boundaries of our smart cities. Each of our projects is coming to life surrounded by existing towns and villages, and creating a strong connection between our new cities and the surrounding inhabitants is key to the success of our projects. We want these new urban places to be inclusive for the surrounding population. We need them to embrace all the changes we're bringing to their immediate environment. Our smart cities will provide a safe and qualitative environment where people of different means, cultures, and backgrounds can connect and interact. And how do we achieve this? Well, we are building great infrastructure and spaces where this connection can take place. I'm talking here about parks, open spaces, sports amenities, artistic and cultural centers, university campuses, retail parks. In tomorrow's world, where more and more of our connection will happen via smartphones and tablets and computers, it will be important for people to physically connect. And smart cities will provide plenty of opportunities for that to happen. And the work has already started. Unicity have created a fantastic animal and adventure park called Kasla. Mocha has built the largest shopping mall of Mauritius, Bagatelle. 50,000 square meters of shopping experience where you can find a huge selection of local and international brands. In Beauplan, we have l'Aventure du Sucre, a sugar museum housed in an old factory which recounts the history of Mauritius through the sugar industry. And there are a lot more projects in the pipeline. But I suppose what most of you here want to understand is, what's in it for you? Play will also present some great investment opportunities and return opportunities for entrepreneurs and investors alike. In Mauritius today, our shopping malls are probably the favorite places where families go to during the weekends to chill, relax, have a bite to eat, do some shopping. But with the increase in the purchasing power of Mauritians and the influx of foreigners that now live on the island, there is a need for more leisure. Already, many African brands and franchises are present in Mauritius and providing a form of entertainment or play. But there will be plenty more opportunities in the future. opportunities to invest in the infrastructure, for experts to operate some of these facilities, and for innovators to come with new exciting ideas. To conclude, I will say that Mauritius is changing and that smart cities will play a key role in unlocking opportunities for investors and entrepreneurs in the future. We will now show you a short movie to give you a glimpse into our projects. Thank you very much.